I get it done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're at. Welcome to this episode of the Business Renovator. From rugby pitch to driver's seat, redefining transportation in the province of Alberta. Welcome. My name is Coach Phil, as you see on the bottom here. If you're here for the first time or coming back, appreciate both of you and appreciate you being here. If you're watching us on the replay, remember hashtag replay. Your feedback, your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, questions that you may have for us. If we see them here live, we'll answer them. If we see them on the after replay, we'll do our best to get to you at ASAP. I don't know about you, but this is an exciting time to be alive. I was just on a webinar looking at the advancements in AI. It is crazy, but it's exciting. But we're not going to talk much about AI today, so let me go away from that segue and get the show on the road. And we'll do that by doing this. So today I'm joined by someone who truly knows how to keep things going. And he's in the transportation world, but he's helping Alberta move, not just on the road, but in business and in community too. Matt Bourdot is the Chief Journey Curator and owner of Driverseat Calgary Airdrie. Originally from New Zealand, you'll pick up on that. He has an accent. Matt brings over 20 years of leadership experience, along with that signature Kiwi blend of warmth, wit, and straight talking service. When he's not orchestrating seamless travel experiences, you'll find him on the rugby pitch, mentoring, leading, and laughing along the way. You're about to hear how Matt is redefining transportation and showing us all what it means to connect people through purpose. I'm not going to hold him up anymore. I'm going to bring him into the show and welcome him. Hey, Matt, welcome to the show. Thanks for getting up early. Like you were telling me early, this is earlier that you don't normally get started this early. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Great to be here.
I know we've met a few times in person, and it's quite a bit different than virtual. You look a little bit different. You don't have the trucks behind you. Those trucks and vans and limos kind of things, that's your business, right? Driver's seat.
Yeah. So we specialize in small to medium-sized group private transportation, and we really focus on the key area of transportation with bringing the human touch back to it. So that's our big focus. We're very people-focused and people-centric. Something that's been lacking in Alberta transportation. So
cool.
Yeah, happy to lead the way.
So it's interesting. You've come all the way from New Zealand to help Albertans have a better experience in transportation. So let's go back to that. You were in New Zealand. What brought you to Canada?
Yeah, like you said, originally from New Zealand. So I traded the beaches for the Rockies. Well, long story short, I worked, when I left New Zealand, I went to work for the cruise lines, multiple cruise lines, based out of the States. And a long story short, and even shorter, I found a local born and raised Calgarian on the ships. One thing led to another, and the flights from Miami or LA to Calgary were a hell of a lot shorter than what it was to fly there to New Zealand all the time. So moved here in 2000, bought a place in 2005 and permanently moved here in 2007. So Calgary and Alberta have been my home, away from home from New Zealand since then.
So I've been a passenger on a cruise ship a couple of times. When we immigrated from the UK to Canada, I think our first time here, when I say first time, my mom was like a nomad. It took her a few trips back and forth to decide that we're going to root here. Anyhow, one of the things we did do was travel through a cruise ship, and I was just a kid. And I think we're at the tail end of a hurricane. That's a whole nother story. But one of the things that's
Been through a few
fascinating
of
about
those.
the cruise industry as an adult is the service level. So I'm thinking, I'm going to ask you about your experience on the cruise lines as a worker bee there. What did you gain out of that?
Yeah, a good question. Yeah, I was a technical manager on there, so basically anything when it came to video arcades, the gym or casinos, anything that kind of plugged in and had a motherboard or some flashing lights. That's what I took care of, and I had a team running for me there. So I was very in face of clients or our cruisers all the time. So I wasn't really a behind the scenes guy. I was out there in the open predominantly throughout my years on the cruise ships. Big thing that I learned, it's a little bit different on land and some businesses where, you're all, lack of a better term, a one-hit wonder. They come in, they buy something, they buy a t-shirt and they bugger off again. Well, on cruise lines, when it's long days a week, you build those relationships. It's more about relationship building and creating an experience for a client for that period of the cruise, whether it's a 7-day cruise, a 14-day cruise, or what have you. It's seeing the same people every day, so more relationship focused, and creating an experience that people can walk away and really remember and enjoy and play a big part, I guess, when you're on the ships of their whole journey. So I kind of incorporate that into my business now with that mentality.
Don't give me the answers before I ask the questions, okay? Because what you just said was, I wonder what kind of impact that had on you as an entrepreneur and a business owner. You're in the transportation business, it's just not on the water, and you're not serving up food as part of what you offer. But I heard a rumor that there was a potential catastrophic client experience, not caused by you, but you guys came to the rescue and helped the fellow Kiwi have a really good experience landing in Calgary without any luggage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vicious rumor, but it's slightly, I mean, like with all rumors, it's not quite 100%. It was actually an Aussie, so for a Kiwi to help out an Aussie, that's something else. But
oh my God, what did you lose your head?
I know. Like I've had my New Zealand passport revoked, so I'm on my own out here now. But she was coming over with their daughter, having a Canadian experience, going through the Rockies, doing doing train trips and everything else. But she landed in Calgary here with no luggage. So we were hosting her for a couple of days. We took her to a couple of places that she wanted to check out while here in Alberta. But she arrived with no luggage. So that was a big stress factor for her. She was here for, I want to say, 4 or 5 days. And before she had to catch the train to go to BC. So it was a bit of a stressful thing for her. And so we were like, well, that's not the experience. We'll own a piece of this because you come to our house. This is us. Now we have to host you. And yeah, you're right. It had nothing to do with us, but that's not an experience people want to have or have a memory of. So we couldn't, jump on the plane and try and find it for them, but we helped them out wherever they could, took them to places where they could buy some extra stuff in the short term, some change of clothes and what have you, and offered to, if the luggage didn't arrive in time, that we would monitor it and keep in contact with her and find out a way to get it to her from Calgary to wherever her final place was in BC. But did we have to do that? No. But we own, like I say, we own that. It's about creating experiences for people. And they were our guests, clients. I don't like clients so much, but they were our guests. So we did what we needed to do to make sure that their experience was fantastic. Fortunately, the luggage arrived the very night. I think it was like T minus like 6 hours or something like that. It was like late at night before they took off the next day. So she was happy about that. But that little piece of attention to detail and care resonated, and that's one of the reasons why she said that she'll be back. So to Alberta, because not necessarily for me, but the whole experience that she had. And we were just a small part of the amazing things that Alberta can offer.
Excellent. You reminded me of some old sage knowledge. I've heard it numerous places, but there is 16 principles, I believe there are, in the Think and Grow Rich, and one of them is do more than what you're paid for. And that's a real live experience of going over and beyond what your commitment is and what you advertise and what you market, right? That's part of your personal culture to what you're doing. So kudos for you. It's a really good example for everybody else that's watching us today, tomorrow, or 6 years from now. This principle, this concept, this idea that Matt's talking about is still going to be relevant then, probably even more so with I said I was going to talk about AI, but with the advent of AI, service is going to be one of the currencies that will be honored in the future. It's still relevant today. And
we're not in. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we're not in the transportation business. Well, we are. We're not, but we're not only in the transportation business. We're in the delight business. You know, it's that difference. It's that personalization. It's that bespoke type of service that AI just won't fulfill.
Yeah. So AI, if you collaborate with it, could be a friend and an asset. And I use it all the time. Even your intro was co-coordinated and co-drafted by AI. And I do that all the time. And the other thing I was going to add to what you did, though, the other currency is trust. And that's probably the foundational trust. The experience that you're talking about, you said you want to have a good customer experience. I think you said good. But if you didn't, that's what I know you meant, because we can have other experiences. I have an experience with another company, which I'll leave nameless, where they were more tied into policies and procedures than satisfying their clientele. Whereas I have another one that I don't do any business with anymore. I canceled my subscription, not because they weren't good. I decided I didn't want to be a coder in AI, and that's what her specialty was. So there was a mess up when I canceled my subscription, and I wasn't paying attention to the credit card statement closely. 9 months of payments for something I wasn't using. She, without any hassle, without any incident, refunded it all. No questions asked. She just confirmed that what I said was true. Boom. I'm a big fan of hers. If we're talking AI, her name is Sabrina Romanoff. If you want to know anything about AI, she's a good one to follow. I lied. I said I want to talk about AI. Anyway, so what I like about what you're sharing, what you're doing is your culture, your experience, your concern for the experience of your clients. Pardon me, your guests. I like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a good experience. It would be a great experience.
Great.
The good is okay. Great is better. But really at the heart of it all, whether you're talking business, sport, life in general, it's all about people and the relationships, and doing the right things the right way, not just the fastest way. And to your point, listening to your clients and instead of just multi-layered, what could we do better? How can we create a better experience for those people?
When was the motive to go into transportation of human beings? Yes.
Because I don't like picking up dog poo. So that's why I didn't go into the dog business. And cats are great, but they cough up fur balls. So that left people. Really, it's one of my previous lives prior to going into transportation. I was in an organization where when I first joined, it was about people and not numbers. But by the end of it, it was more about numbers and putting people in boxes as opposed to the people themselves. So my heart, or my personal type of person that I am, I guess, it didn't align. There's nothing wrong with that if that's the type of business model or the type of focus that you want to do. It's just not for me. So it was like, what can I do, or where can I go that I can really create an experience for people and play a real part in doing that and creating that. And one of the areas was, there was a couple of areas that I was looking at, but transportation seemed to be very cattle, what we would call in the business kind of just cattle transportation. So basically they're just, that you're nothing more than a payload for them. You buy a ticket, you throw you on with a bunch of strangers, they take you somewhere, they drop you off. You have to find how to get to that terminal. And lately in the last couple of years, for example, if you were going to Banff National Park, for say, you have to find your way to get to the terminal. Even if you bought a ticket, it might be busy and you'd miss that bus. You'd have to wait for the next, and then you get on, they dump you off, they don't do anything with you. That's great if that's the type of experience you have, but it's not personal, and you're just nothing more than a number. And I wanted to kind of shake that up a little bit in Alberta. We've got a lot to offer, and I don't want to throw out Banff National Park as a singular area, because there's lots to offer, and that's really where I focus a little bit more outside of the golden goose, if you will, because there's Indigenous experiences. There's lots of things that Alberta can create memorable experiences for people, and I want to be a part of that. So that's why I kind of went into this route. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So do you, we've kind of talked about where you provided a great experience, maybe even a wow experience for, pardon me, an Aussie. How can we say that in this with you in the round? But do you have another sample story that you would like to share that supports what you've just said, why you're doing what you're doing, and feedback? That's what I'm looking for. Feedback story of somebody who took a risk going in your orange and blue vehicles and had a golden experience, or platinum even, maybe.
I guess I could talk to one. I mean, I don't know if
You can.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be a uplifting story, but it's a real heart story. We did a wedding for a family. We do lots of weddings, but a wedding shuttle for a family, and it was an out of town wedding. And of course, the build up for that, it's just part of our business. We get to know the person that's getting married and who, the wedding party and everything else, and talking to the mother-in-law, or mother in this case, or the mother-in-law, and figuring out what it is that they're looking for, right down to, what's the age of the people that we're transporting? Does anyone need a little bit more extra care? Is there some mobility issues? All of those little bits and pieces, not just like, oh, you want me from A to B, here it is, that's what the price is going to be. There's more in depth into that. So do we need to take a little bit more extra care? How late is it the last shuttle that you want to be picked up? Okay, so if we've got older people with younger families, maybe we need to start our shuttles a little bit earlier. And all those little pieces build up an experience. Everything went really, really well with that, up until about a month before the wedding. And unfortunately, the mother had passed prior to the wedding. So obviously everyone was very upset, and the show must go on. They weren't going to, the booking and everything else is already well in place. So they weren't going to go forward with it and put a stop to that. So they just carried on. It was sad, because I got to know the mum pretty well and built a really good relationship with her. But needless to say, everything went off without a hitch, and everyone was happy that we helped with the wedding. Where this story turns to, though, is that about 2 or 3 weeks later, it was the bride gave me a call, or I think it was an email actually, and said, "Hey, are you available for here? My mum really loved Marine Lake, and she wants her ashes spread in Marine Lake, and we want no one else but you to take our family there to do it. My mum really loved the relationship that we built. You've been fantastic, and you're kind of a part of this. So we wanted to use your services to do that." So that was kind of, that was pretty full on, and a bit of humbling on my side, because it's just par for the course for me. But to be able to really touch someone in that way, or not even one person, but a family is something special.
So I felt when you got to the landing of that story, I went, okay, now I get where he's talking about it. And what I heard there is that it ties in with what you said was important to you as an entrepreneur business owner. You're not just about numbers. You're about a great experience. You're about giving them what they require, no matter what. By the sounds of it, is what you guys did. And as a result of that, the currency of trust and being respected by your guests, I almost said client, but I caught myself, your guests, they came back to do something special, which is an intimate family moment. And they included you in it because of who you is, how you show up. That's freaking awesome. That should be, that is a really good model for others to follow. That's it. To wrap the show. No, I'm just kidding.
On that note, on that really heavy note, we're done.
It was a heavy experience and a solemn moment. But as you say, life goes on. You help them go through all of that, even with the wedding. I mean, certainly you weren't in the wedding, but you were looking after all the people they cared about with your shuttles. I never thought about that. That you would shuttle people to and from a wedding like that. That's pretty cool. I'm stereotypical limousine, long things, bride and groom, and maybe close family members are in it. That's it, right? So your van colors and vehicles are not as one color and monochrome as the limos, but they have a diverse experience inside, right? They could carry more people. Safely.
Yeah, well, I mean, orange is all about fun, and blue is all about seriousness. So it's all about we're sure we're a business, but just because you're a business doesn't mean that you have to be sterile. It's again with the oranges. Let's create some fun. Let's create some great memories. And I don't know if you're touching on kind of partnerships or anything, but that's all about that partnership too. So even if it's just the clients can be the people, the end users, but they can also be the partners that you team up with, and it's making sure that from start to finish that whole experience is a memorable experience. So it's not it's not like for us personally, it's the journey matters. In some cases, the journey matters more than the destination. You don't want, and I think we've all experienced situations where you've had a great time. Let's just say you went to a resort somewhere and the resort was great, but the getting there and the coming back was less than. So when you're kind of reviewing that and you're going, you know what, overall it was an okay experience. The resort or the place itself was fantastic. Oh, but the trip there was shitty, and the trip back was less than stellar or whatever else. And that's tarnished the whole experience. Whereas when we're teaming up with partners in business, it's about, let's make sure that as soon as we pick them up, and as soon as we drop them off at the end, that whole experience is in unison. It's synchronized, and the whole experience is great. So that's what we're about.
Yeah, it's not possible to make a second first impression.
100%.
Right. And you were taking me back at whether you knew it or not. Your limos are virtual. You took me to Mexico when you talked about the transport from the airport to the resorts. Some have been okay. Some have been just like you're talking about, right? And so it did put a tarnish on the resort. Although I don't know if they're really tied to the resort, but they probably are in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, I get what you're saying, And then the other thing, I picked this lesson up a long time ago, and I appreciate you reminding me of it. Life is not a destination. Like once I get there, I'll be happy, because once we got there, now we're not happy because we got there. It's the journey. It's what we do along the way and who we become. And the other thing you reminded me of with what you've been talking about and sharing today, Matt, was what Steve Jobs talked about. You can't join the dots looking forward, but you certainly can looking backwards. So from growing up and coming from Kiwi land, and then riding around on the water, having a blast of your living in just pristine living conditions and everything, but you learned a lot of stuff. All those things helped you be who you is today, and the philosophy you have for running your company, Driverseat for Calgary West and Airdrie. And I think the two stories you share here are evidence that you don't just, yeah, we are talking about it here, but you don't just talk it, you actually live it. So what I want to do on your behalf right now, if you're okay with this.
You going to sing a song?
No, because the last time I sang, I cleared the room and there's only one in it. So it would be really cool.
I was going to say, you're going to serenade me. No, that's pretty cool.
So I want to bring this up. This is your website. Private charters, one time every time. Oh, pardon me, on time every time. Phil, read it the right way. Reserve a van or a minibus for every occasion, group size. To help people find out where that is, I'm going to add some really cool stuff here. Watch this. Look at that. That's how they can get there. So you don't need a magnifying glass to see what I can't show you.
That is amazing. Jeez, you've done this before.
Sometimes I fool myself. You can actually go up here and book it. You can look at the news and you can find out about them. Is there anything else on here that I should kind of accentuate? Oh, start your reservation right here.
Yeah, pretty much it. There's a little bit about us. We're across the whole country now. Kind of a little bit of a history. And then we highlight a couple of folks in the field, and we'll try to update that consistently and give a shout out. It's not about us; it's about the team that puts it together. They're the face of the brand, and they deserve all the kudos that they can get. So, So as just kind of scrolling down there, there's some ugly mugs and there's some pretty mugs, but we're all a part of that bigger unit. So yeah.
And it's easy to get there. But I'm going to give you another plug too, because there's another place to get to know you, the man, the myth,
the legend. Yeah.
We'll bring that up. Watch this. That's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. I just have to toggle on that. So this is your LinkedIn page. Look at that. It looks similar to what's going on there, right? Wow. And they can connect with you there, send you a message, find out more information. 2 places to get a hold of you. So if they have an event or they want to be a joint venture partner with you because they want to accentuate the experience for their clients, their guests, their customers. I'm not sure what your JV partners would call theirs, but I get why you call yours. Yes. A dentist wouldn't call me a guest. They would call me a patient. Anywho. Anything you want to add to your LinkedIn stuff?
No, that's a good spot to connect. Happy to connect with anyone out there that either has a need directly or knows someone who may need our services. It pretty much encapsulates everything we do. So whether it's weddings, corporate events, employee transportation, we're working with a small municipality out of Alberta here, a small town with micro transit. So we're in the early stages of setting that up, which basically means that we're the public transport of the town.
Oh, wow.
Again, we are a bespoke service. It's not like what are you looking for? You're falling into this bucket. It's what are your challenges? What is it that you want to achieve? What does a good experience look like? Who have you used before, if that's the case, and how was their service and what could do better? All of that's a learning for us as we're putting together a service that you're going to be happy with and we're proud to present. So, yeah.
So it's very diverse. You said some things that make me think it's very diverse in that regard. Serious note now, as an entrepreneur and individual, what's one thing that you would share with our audience?
I guess I could wrap it up in saying, if you're focused on people and you focus on partnerships, profit follows. But if you focus on profit first, you'll always be chasing. That's probably what I would say.
I love it. I agree with you. Thanks for that sage wisdom. Matt, it was been a pleasure. Sorry I had to get you up so early to be on the show.
It's just it's not so much getting up early. I'm up early. It's just my head doesn't kick in so early. So if I didn't string a sentence together, forgive me, folks. But I haven't even had my first coffee yet. That gives you a bit of an indication of where my brain is. But hopefully I made some sense out there.
Yeah, you were great. And I have this as one of my standard banners, and masterminds create energy. And what you shared with us today, and we had our own little mastermind here, but is what you do with your business, your company, and what you do to serve your guests. So it's brilliant. Mastermind creates energy. Anyway, Matt, thank you for being here. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Phil. It's been great chatting. What I've learned through both rugby, we didn't touch on that, but that's okay. It's my favorite.
We have to have you come back.
But rugby, that's my favorite sport. So business success always comes down to people. So for us, it's not about moving passengers. We're helping people get where they need to be safely and comfortably. It's all about care, connection, and consistency. So for those that are listening, and for you yourself, there, young Phil, if this chat inspires you to think differently about how to serve others, well, that's a trip worth taking. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate your time.
I'm glad I was on the journey with you today.
I'm happy to have had you with me.
All right, talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Yes, you're right. I didn't talk about rugby, and my bad, because he is very passionate about it. He's played it, he officiates it, and he helps it be solvent in Alberta for sure. Calgary, I believe, is anyway. I have to have him back to talk about that. One thing I want to leave and impart on everybody here is this, and there it is. It moved. It's over on this side. See, I'm not a very good weather guy. The U where my finger is, that represents you. So we want you to go and be your unique, wonderful self. Until next time, I'm your host, Coach Phil. We'll catch you on another episode.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through. I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking